Hi guys, so concluding our hair week, let's say. It's our series of videos all about hair, one after the other. We started with the facial hair removing with my dermaplaning video on Sunday, which was sponsored, FYI. And then we had the video about my safety razors on Wednesday. If you're interested, these will be linked below. And today we're talking about the hair on my head. This is something I get a lot of questions about, especially from people who have watched me for a long time, because my hair has been very different in the past. Even people that know me in real life are like, wow, your hair's growing so quickly. And I keep saying it hasn't. You know, my hair doesn't grow very fast. It does grow very fast where I don't want it to. Literally everywhere but my head. But I would say historically my hair doesn't grow very fast. And yet even this morning, I was looking at some pictures, what was I looking at? I can't remember. I was looking through Instagram for some old pictures of something. And I thought, wow, okay. It was 2017 and my hair was a bob still. My hair was like here. So that is a decent amount of growth in 3 years. Because I kept thinking, well, you know, it's been 4 years since... No, it really has grown quite quickly. And I want to be able to share those secrets with you more than anything. I was there, my hair was damaged, it was falling out. I had to have some extensions to kind of blend it out for a little while. There was a whole year of like mullet for me. And all I wanted in the world was for someone to make a video to tell me how to fix it. And I want to be that person for you, but there isn't a secret. The number one question I get is, how did you fix your hair? How did you get your hair from A to B? And I didn't. It's not the same hair. The hair that broke, the hair that was falling out, the hair that was chemically damaged by a hairdresser. This is not the same hair. It's not. It happened in 2015. I stopped dyeing my hair in 2015. I went for a consultation January 2016, and I remember this because it was just about to be my 30th birthday, and the hairdresser put some just tiny baby lights kind of here, tried to, because my hair had been bleach blonde, like white, and I had a ton of regrowth, and he put some kind of baby lights in just to try and blend it out, but really minimal. And then I had some extensions. I had 2 sets of different extensions throughout the course of 2016. At the end of 2016, I had my hair cut into quite a severe bob. It was like to my jaw, as short as I could possibly have been without it kind of being shaved up the back. And that was then all brand new hair. That was all completely not, it was my natural hair, no dye had touched it whatsoever. And then from then until last summer, so summer 2019, I had 1 trim and I didn't touch it with any dye whatsoever. And I got it to not a million miles off this. It was probably a couple of inches shorter than this last summer. And that the biggest thing was I stopped dyeing it. And let me tell you, if you are watching this because your hair is in a real state, I understand. You can go back and watch the videos that I made. I have hair damage diaries that will explain to you, I am you. I have been where you are. And I wouldn't listen. And the number of people who said, just leave it alone. You don't understand. Like, so much self-esteem is tied up in our hair as women. And I think as men as well. I think for most of us, it's just a lot. It's a lot of our visual identity is in our hair. And it's hard when your hair is terrible, when it's all gone wrong and you feel awful about it, to leave it alone. You need to do something. You need to do something to make it feel better. I had a lot of people tell me not to have extensions. Now, the problems that I had with my hair weren't at the root. By that point, I had several inches of, loads of natural hair, kind of up to about there, I would say, easily, of healthy hair. The damage that I had was from bleach that was towards the ends. And so the extensions were no problem whatsoever because they were anchored to healthy hair. And the breakage that I had wasn't tension related, it was chemical breaks. So I never had a problem with it. I knew it was going to be fine. And I had 2 different kinds of extensions. I tried tape years ago, wouldn't recommend that. That's a very temporary thing. But I had great length extensions, which were kind of regular, kind of glued in bonds, little teeny tiny ones. And then I had ones that were, I have videos on these things, and I can't remember what the second set were. I don't remember, but they were a completely different kind. They were much, much thicker bonds. I didn't like those as much because I felt like they never smelled clean. That was my one issue with extensions, was the bonds never felt like they completely dried in the same way as the hair. The great lengths ones did, and I would get those again. But the other ones, the hair looked great, but the bonds, I felt like everything smelled damp all the time, which was not great. But what those extensions enabled me to do was grow out my hair and leave it alone. Because in that time, I couldn't mess with it. I couldn't, because I'm definitely an at-home DIY hair person. And that basically broke the cycle. That gave me a full year where I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even tone my hair because it would mess up the colour match of my extensions. And so in that year where I had those extensions off and on, I broke the habit of messing with my hair. And so once they came out and I had the ends of my hair cut off and I just had it all cut into a bob and it was fine, I just didn't even want to mess with my hair. I just wanted to leave it. I wanted to grow it. I wanted to see how it did on its own. And it did great. Everyone told me to leave it alone, and when I left it alone, it did great. It is the key, but it's really, really hard. And so I would say, if you are in that stage and you are, that's not the answer for you, because I understand, leave it alone, whatever. If you're in that stage, I would say if you can't afford to get extensions, mine were paid for to review on my blog. So I didn't pay for those extensions, and I don't know whether or not I would have been in a position to want to spend hundreds of pounds on extensions. Let's be honest. It's great, but if you're not in that position, then you can also get clip-in extensions, which would do a very similar thing. It's just effort. And you can also get a wig that is sewn onto your head. Now, I've never done this. I can't vouch for it, but it's definitely something that I considered at the time. Or just, wigs that you can wear, that you can take off. Great, whatever. But there are multiple different options, and I'm speaking as someone who was sick of people telling me to leave my hair alone. And so those are the things that come to mind when I think, if I couldn't have done the things that I did, I think wigs, for sure, would have been high on my list, and clip-in extensions. Just something to make it so that you can get through that difficult time of, this is terrible hair. And it's so vain. It is incredibly vain, and it's difficult to put across to people who've never been in that position, or who don't tie a lot of their self-esteem up with their hair. And this is not tie up. It's not an intended pun, but it's just coming to me. It's hard to get someone to understand, but I understand. I understand. I felt awful. I felt ugly, and I felt just gross. And every time I looked at myself, I hated how I looked. I just didn't. I had no confidence whatsoever, just totally depleted. And so whatever you can do to give yourself that confidence back within financial reason, do it. But hopefully you can find something that will allow your hair to rest while you're doing it. If you have to dye your hair, dye it back as close as you can to your natural colour, and try to leave it alone. A couple of other things that over the years I've noticed have caused breakage when I've been doing absolutely nothing else to my hair. Tying it up when it was wet. I remember there was a time when I was putting kind of pigtails in my hair. I think we were going to Disney. We were on holiday. And I was kind of, when it was wet in the morning, I had little short hair, and I was putting little kind of like buns in my hair every day. And by the end of the trip, I noticed that I was getting breakage. And just generally tying your hair up when it's wet, not a great idea. Any kind of tension on your hair. Even now, with my hair, I've now had some balayage put through my hair last year. And so I do have some colour through it. Very, very minimal, but I do have some colour through it now. But even now, if I put my hair up on top of my head too often, I'll start to notice that there are some kind of wispy parts, and it's starting to break a little bit. And I hardly use heat on my hair at all, but even then that can happen. So even with very, very minimal dye, very, very minimal / no heat, you still can damage your hair in other ways. So just try to be as gentle with your hair as you possibly can. There are no products that will fix your hair. There are products that will make your hair look nicer. There are products that will coat your hair and make it appear to be fixed. But your hair cannot be fixed. once it's been damaged. It just can't. You have to move on with your life. I'm sorry, it's true. But hair grows. And if you've damaged your hair, and let's say you've got a big chunk of breakage like I had, that's not going to affect the way that your hair is growing out of your head. And so patience is key. I have no patience. I have no patience. I just want you to understand. I'm coming at this from, please don't take this as how I took everybody else's advice. I'm not saying, just be patient, just leave it alone. No, it's the worst. I get it. But you could spend so much money in the next year trying to fix your hair and it will all be a complete waste of time. Anything that allows you to leave your own natural hair to rest, like extensions, wigs, clip-in extensions, whatever it is that you're going to try to do, or some kind of, protective hairstyle. Go for it. Do that. Do something that means that you are not tempted to colour it. You're not tempted to heat style it every day, because the more damaged it gets, the harder it is not to heat style it, because you're like, oh, it looks terrible unless I straighten it. But the more you straighten it, the worse it gets. It's a cycle. Just stop. Just try to find a way. Try to find something that will allow you to stop. Because that's it. That's the answer. Everyone asks me, how did your hair grow so quickly? Because I just stopped doing things to it. I straighten my hair maybe 4 times a year. If I was going to wear it straight now, I would just paddle brush and blow dry it. And that's, even then, very, very rare for me to do. I haven't touched my hair with heat since we've been in lockdown because it's just totally unnecessary. I mean, it is getting really straggly now. This is literally how my hair dried, and I'm just leaving it. And yeah, okay, maybe I should have styled it to film a video, but I'm not, because it's not necessary. And I'm trying to be kind to my hair when I can. Of course, you can use like nice treatments, conditioners, masks and all that stuff. That's nice. But all of those things are superfluous, extra things that will make your hair look and feel nice, but it won't necessarily repair damage that has been done, that is literally your hair is falling out. I'm sorry. It's true. But you can go back and wallow in my self-pity in those old videos if you're interested. And truly, if you are wondering why your hair is not growing, I mean, some people's hair doesn't grow past a certain... I thought my hair was that hair. Some people's hair just doesn't grow, but I would hazard a guess that most of it is heat styling. And if it's not heat styling, then are you styling it in such a way that maybe it's breaking off with tension, or what? Of course, there could be other things involved, diet and all that stuff. But from a basic level, a lot of it comes down to heat styling. And then it just starts breaking off. And it's hard. But find a way of loving your hair without those things. And it will grow, hopefully. Hopefully this has been useful. I know it's not useful. I'm sorry. I had to film a video to answer the question because so many people ask. And I want to be able to say, I made a video about it. Here's the video. It sucks. It sucks when you hate your hair. It sucks when you're trying to grow your hair and you can't grow your hair. It sucks. I get it. But truly what everybody says is true. And I don't want that to be the case, but it is. I hate when everybody else is right. And I hate when I've been ignoring people and I shouldn't have been. And I want to be able to tell you, do you know what? They were wrong. And I kept dyeing my hair and I kept straightening it and doing all this stuff to it. And it grew and it was beautiful. But it's not actually the truth. So yeah, I'm sorry, but hopefully this has been somewhat useful, even in terms of just a reality check, and maybe stopping you from buying all those things that you put in your online cart, because it's not going to work. I spent so much money and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's all very much superficial layer. It's not really fixing anything. I'm sorry, but good luck. And if you've been through this yourself, please leave us a comment and let us know what it was that helped you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.